Hello, friends. Thanks for coming to play with the ideas that I present on my channel. I woke up thinking about my dad this morning, and my mantra with him is, Daddy, I wish things had been different between us. I love both my mom and my dad very much, but if my dad had chosen a different wife, I was just thinking about how different my family would have been. And it's not that I didn't love mom, I worshiped her, but her unrelenting rejection of me has really shaped my life. So, how other people's choices affect us on our life path. All right, my angels and guides have said that, at each juncture, when there's an important life changing decision to make, we have, mostly in dream state, the awareness of the scenarios that if I went in this direction, you know, how would my life purpose play out? Or if I made this choice, how would I complete my learning in this lifetime? And it's kind of like a map, almost like a family tree, where the people, my grandparents, their choices affected all of us. In If you think of it like a map and tributaries or a family tree, their choices affect us. For example, my parents chose to live right next to um, my paternal grandmother and paternal grandfather. And so they had quite an influence on our life growing up and my parents' life while they lived there. And then my parents chose to move to New Hampshire, where I am now. And if they hadn't chosen to move to New Hampshire, I wouldn't be with Peter, my husband. And we had so much connection in past lives and so much that we chose to do. My husband and I are born 20 days apart. I mean, we had a lot of plans coming in, but I would have never met him if we'd stayed in Pennsylvania, right? So the choices that others make can affect the choices that are available to us. And I think it's important for us to understand, like especially at my age, where I'm looking back at all the twists and the turns of my life and how my guides and angels have always been with me as I've protected my gift. I never really wanted to be in the public eye with the channeling. It's so precious. I am going to be leaving it here um, for others. But a lot of the choices in my life had to do with protecting this ability because it was the most important thing for me to do in my lifetime here. It's what I had planned to do. So I invite you to think about choices and how important our choices are. And yet, if we feel like we don't have a choice, our guides and angels are still helping us to maneuver to a place where we can learn what we came here to learn, enjoy what we came here to enjoy, do what we came here to do. I'll give you a small example of that. Nature, this earth, was a lot of why I came back. I know that. It's why I keep coming back to this planet over and over again. And by the way, right now, she's trying to show us that there is something more powerful than the human mind and that is our planet. And even while I say that, I have great compassion for people experiencing the heat, the flooding, the fires. You know, she's just reacting and trying to save herself. And what are our choices within that? Some of us are moving to different areas. Some of us are just hoping that it's going to turn around. Some of us are thinking that there is another version of Earth, and there is, and we go there in spirit. But this one, with its own density, has its own challenges. So if you drew, let's get back to choices. If you drew a map of, like, say, my parents had not moved to New Hampshire when I was 16, I wouldn't be where I was now. And sometimes, when we think about our lives, we sort of miss those junctions when we make choices. And sometimes when we make those choices, we can't imagine where those choices are going to take us, right? So when my guides and angels say that choices is all we're working with here, they're really right. So I want to end this with an end screen of my dad and I. And I'm about 30 in this photograph. I was actually looking for a different photograph, but couldn't find it. So that's what I'll have to do. Anyway, um, it's so important for me at this junction in my life, and maybe it is for you too, to know that what this little 16-year-old girl in spirit said to me once: when you look back on your life, you will understand that everything was perfect. One of the most beautiful blessings that I've ever received from spirit, from a little girl who lost her life at the age of 16. Anyway, enough of that. So until I see you again, please be well and please be blessed. And I am going to pause this for a second and throw up a screen with my dad and I. Okay. I'm sorry it's so blurry, but there we are. All right, folks, take care. Thanks for coming.